Whimsical details from 1968 Seattle enliven classic Irwin Caplan poster. Eye level, it's pushpinned to my hallway wall. If I'm not in a hurry, one of its details arrests and rivets me, always inducing a grin. I imagine the same experience for countless others over the past nearly 60 years. Our then image is a 30 by 40-inch poster, a fanciful take on downtown Seattle and the West Seattle Shore in 1968. It looks like a cockeyed cross between a bird's eye map and Where's Waldo. As period caricature, it emphasizes some aspects and conflates others, but that's part of its charm, invoking memories and inviting comparisons to today. Commissioned by the revered but long gone Frederick and Nelson department store, now there's a memory, the poster was the vision of Seattle artist Irwin Caplan, 1919 to 2007. Throughout his life, from his upbringing in Madison Park to Garfield High, the University of Washington, and beyond, Caplan created images in plentiful styles and forms, but he made his fame after World War II as a premier magazine cartoonist. His panels graced an astonishing array of mid-century periodicals: Look, Time, Liberty, True, Holiday, This Week, Argosy, Esquire, Ladies' Home Journal, The New Yorker, and in syndication from Collier's and the Saturday Evening Post. Later, he created commercial art and Seattle Times Sunday magazine covers, also teaching drawing and painting at the UW. It was as if a pencil, pen, or brush never left his hand. If he was awake, says Robert, oldest of three offspring, he was doing art. Caplan's dizzying Seattle poster became a career highlight. Priced at $1.95, mailing tube 10 cents extra, it sold enough to go into second printing. The longer you look, the Fredericks ads aptly strutted, the more familiar names and landmarks you see. Therein, the Space Needle whirls, while downtown's soon-to-open Seafirst building, now Safeco Plaza, and then the city's highest high-rise, nicknamed the Box the Space Needle came in, sports a Big Daddy pennant. Flying past the Smith Tower is a plump jet from which 5 mechanics dangle. A trailing banner, oblivious to imminent corporate calamity, proclaims Boeing job number 50327. 6 superimposed ovals spotlight districts like Seattle Center, in which Caplan asks, "Where's Zolly?" A salute to Zalman Volchok, who booked the Beatles' first concert in 1964 at the Seattle Coliseum, now Climate Pledge Arena, and later general managed the city's then new, now departed, basketball Supersonics. Another oval highlights the UW, framed by the motto, Lux Sit, Let There Be Light, alongside a love picket sign and a nod to the Helix underground paper. Hydros, Chief Seattle, the Ferry Kalakala, Rainier Tower architect Minoru Yamasaki. The references seem delightfully endless. The scene is jam-packed, busy, vibrant. Also, some would say, prescient. In our first then photo, details crowd Irwin Caplan's absorbing 1968 cartoon poster of Seattle's downtown and West Seattle shore. One version, this one, was in metallic green with a mustard background, and the other, this one, in mustard with a light blue background. Frederick and Nelson sold them for $1.95. Preserved copies today sell on the internet for much higher prices. In our next then photo, Irwin Caplan, nicknamed Cap, works in his Laurelhurst home studio, circa 1968. In our next then photo, from 1955, a Caplan cartoon for Collier's magazine makes its point with no need for a gag line. In our next then photo, Caplan's self-caricature, mid-1950s. In our next then photo, this oval detail from Caplan's 1968 Seattle poster depicts the University of Washington. In our next then photo, this detail from the poster shows the now defunct Frederick & Nelson department store with its signature doorman. Fredericks commissioned Caplan to create the poster. In our next then photo, this detail from the poster shows Boeing mechanics dangling from a jet above the Smith Tower. In our next then photo, Caplan interprets the Hooverville camp on the Seattle waterfront circa 1935 to 1936, when he attended Garfield High School. In our last then photo, in this southwest-facing view, Caplan places the old Plymouth Congregational Church in context with its neighboring high-rise in 1966, when the church faced demolition from the April 29, 1965 earthquake. Today, emulating the 1968 Seattle poster's view of downtown from West Seattle, the offspring of the late Irwin and Madeline Caplan, all in their early 70s, stand at Hamilton Viewpoint. From left, Joan Clark of North Bend, Steve Caplan of downtown Seattle, and Robert Caplan of Peoria, Arizona.